Arsenal versus Manchester City. Mikel Arteta had never lost a game at Wembley, and Pep Guardiola had won his last 4 finals in the Carabao Cup. Something had to give, and boy did it give, CJ. We are also joined by massive Arsenal fan Joseph Charm, and he's got plenty to say about what happened the other day. Let's talk to him.
It's a difficult one to understand. We just capitulated in the second half. It just felt like disjointed. We couldn't kind of string our passes together. We couldn't get into a rhythm. Something was just off. It just wasn't a performance that reflected the quality that we have in the team.
Second half, where are you at with Mikel Arteta being proactive?
In my opinion, I think he set up the best way we could have set up for that game. I just think that changes probably should have happened a lot sooner. It's one of those difficult ones because a lot of the players on the pitch have to take the responsibility as well.
Talk to me about Saka more than anyone else and how his performances have dipped and how that, is kind of potentially worrying Arsenal fans.
I don't think this is anywhere near his level, right? But I think he would tell you that he's got so much more quality that he's yet to unleash this season. It's not the level that we are used to. And I think of all the players in an Arsenal shirt that needs a bit of grace, that needs a bit of love and support, it's him. He's earned that because the last 6 years he's been so instrumental in this rebuild. It's very easy to be emotional and reactionary after games and losses like this. The truth of the matter is that we've lost, that's 4 games this whole season. We've got like a few more games left. We're still in 3 big competitions. Like we're still in the Premier League, the Champions League and the FA Cup. And we're favourites in all of those competitions. So I'm not going to come here, look at my players and say, I'm not going to sit here and catastrophize. It's not going to help anybody. But that game was not good enough by their standards, and they know that it's not good enough. We've all seen the All or Nothing documentary and how Arteta talks when the levels are not met. As fans, we can't go crazy and think that they're not aware. They're aware. They know. What we need to do is recognize it, acknowledge it, but now let's draw a line under it because we've got bigger fish to fry.
Careful, man.
Wow.
Careful.
Bigger fish. Are you sure that's the line you want to go with?
I will say this with my whole chest. Arsenal Football Club are going to win the Premier League. I'm saying it with my whole chest. I'm so comfortable with it. We can clip that. We can... Listen, I'll put my head on the chopping block if I have to. We are gonna win the league.
CJ, we've just heard from Joseph and he's had plenty to say about Arsenal and what this could potentially mean for their title charge. But we need to look back at the game and see where it went wrong.
One thing that I think gave them confidence is they know we're not going to leave our shape. They know we're going to be compact. They know we welcome balls into the box and back ourselves defensively. The problem is, as you see there, when you're not following runners, this is where the issues start to come. And as you can see there, we've not really cleared our lines. Just the second kind of phase. It's about to be third time lucky for Manchester City. And this is where I was saying to you, Miles, it's a tale of 2 halves, because in the first half, this wasn't the case. We had City camped in their own box. They're giving us a taste of our own medicine. Unfortunately, football's a 90-minute game. Third time lucky, as I said, the ball's been delivered. Kepa's made a mare of it. But you have to credit not only Manchester City for suffocating us and forcing our issues, but for Nico O'Reilly in the final to simply just gamble and run further forward.
Looking at City's second goal, CJ, I know you were critical of that one too.
Again, we're struggling to play out from the back. When we go long, we have no answers. When we play short, we have no answers. As you can see, we've been caught in possession. And Jeremy Doku down this left-hand side, he's a problem, essentially. He's a problem. And as you can see, we're quickly getting into our shape. We're doing well initially. We forced it out wide. Again, we're in our shape. But this is where the issues come from. Just watch Nico O'Reilly. This is where Saka's got to follow his runner. The left-back just bought a raffle ticket. He's won the lottery. And by then, Arsenal are done. It's 2-0 to Manchester City. And the blue moon is rising.
CJ, we've obviously seen how the goals went in, but we need to take it a step back, I think, and look at where the battle was won and lost. And it's clear that was in the midfield.
Now, what became the theme is they know, Manchester City that being, they press with a 4. They know they're more than happy to let Saliba and Gabriel have the ball. They know at some point Arsenal will get frustrated and force it long. We might even find gaps. But as you can see, that front 4 immediately stops Declan Rice and Zubimendi getting onto the ball. So what happens logically? You're going to have to drop shorter. that you can see it with Rice and Zubi. When they get the ball, they're forced to go backwards. And then in just a few seconds, you're probably going to start to see our attacking players have to creep further and further into our half. As you saw there, Kepa got away with it on that occasion. But look at Magalhaes. There's no passing lanes. So what is the school of thought from both Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta? If you can't go forward, go back. If you can't go down the left, go down the right. As you can see there, look how deep Kai Havertz is. And it's a matter of time before that happens, where you've given it back and we're still suffocated in our own half. And the ball is just coming back and back and back to us. As you can see there, while Gabriel Magalhaes has it, Saka is forced very deep. As you can see, Rice is essentially, becoming a third centre-half. Look at where Zubamendi is. Look how deep, Gyökeres is. Look at where Hincapié is. You could throw a curtain on all of our attacking players in our own half. We've played right into Pep Guardiola's hands, and he's shown why he's the master.
CJ, some would argue that there's not much to fix with Arsenal. It's just a matter of carrying on and getting it over the finish line. I think Joseph Chalmers is probably one of those who has a lot more optimism than some Arsenal fans do. But what needs to be fixed to get this right? You've got 7 games until the end of the season. It's a pivotal moment.
The first thing I think we need to do is breathe. Like, we need to accept reality. We didn't win yesterday. I mean, fans can crash out as much as they want. They could, say the whole we've only lost 4 games this season as much as they want. But we do need a bit of perspective. I know a lot of things are said about us being 9 points ahead. That could turn to 6 depending on what City do, and potentially 3 if they beat us. So we literally just have to put the left foot in front of the right. Now, where you're talking tactically, 90% of what Mikel Arteta has done, rebuilding this football club and getting us to where we've got to, I think is all right. But it would be fair to say there's a missing 10%. For me, we need to start going off script on occasion. Put the handbrake down. Allow these attacking players at times to really just gander forward and create overloads, because statistically, we do have one of the best defensive ethoses. For now, we just have to soak it up, get back to it, if I'm completely honest.
3 questions.
Go ahead.
1-word answers.
Go on.
Are Arsenal going to win the Premier League?
I hope so.
Are Arsenal going to win the Champions League?
No.
Are Arsenal going to win the FA Cup?
It's our cup. Go on then, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go on then.
In fact, the first one you even said, I hope so. Wait. I've just noticed that now.
You have to define winning the Premier League. How do you define winning it? Like, the best team don't always win it.
Are Arsenal going to win the Premier League, CJ?
By God's grace. What do you want me to say? You know what? We're talking into existence. Yes, Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. Mikel Arteta and the boys, don't let me down. I've been riding for you lot. I need something back.
There's a young man on Arsenal's bench who is still in school, and whether he's doing his GCSEs or whatever, the new superstar on the block is a young Max Dowman. Does he need to be thrown into the mix to help Arsenal get over the line and just change things in that attack?
It's a weird one, Miles, man, because it's not the same climate as when Saka came through, and let's have it right, the teams are just playing poor, young players got some pride in the shirt. We're in a different scenario, and I do like that, because when Saka was coming through, we was living or dying by his performances. We can't underestimate what Max Dowman did against Everton a few weeks ago. Obviously got his goal, fantastic moment. I do think we need to take the temperature down on the young man, but at the end of the day, if you are on the bench in a cup final and you are on the bench in the Premier League, if you're good enough, you're old enough, you're a tool. Kind of what we've been speaking about in the modern day about systems, and there's not really individuality. Max Dowman's got that. Of course, the con of that is he's young, he might not have the tactical understanding, but them kind of players, you just say, like he did against Everton, go out there, young man, go and do your thing. Don't worry about anything else. He wants the ball, he's excited to play for Arsenal. He doesn't look like he's overawed by anything. So I do think Max Dowman needs to play a bit more.
Talking about Arsenal's attack and their front line, they do boast a wealth of players, and someone like Eze, who has come in for Odegaard where he hasn't performed as well. You would expect there to be an easy shift in terms of someone like Odegaard dropping out and Eze fitting in seamlessly. That's not quite happened, has it?
It's not quite what's happened, and it's a weird one, Miles, man, because if you was to put any kind of Arsenal front three on paper, it probably looks a bit better than it does in reality. Now, of course, we play against low blocks, we're in an era of systemic football and things of that ilk, and also I do think Rice spoke about it, and with Eze, it's a culture shock. With someone like Mikel Arteta, it's a thing where everything you think you know about football prior to signing for the football club, he kind of flips it on its head. There's got to be a coincidence with kind of how Eze struggled initially to show his extended periods of quality towards probably the turn of the year, where you've been here for 6 months. Gyökeres the same. You're now starting to put your best foot forward. What I would say is I do think every one of those individual players need to do a bit better in the final third, because if we want to be a good team, it's good enough. You can do it on occasion. A couple of weeks you can go missing. If you want to be a great team, you look at the Arsenal sides that did get over the line. You look at the Manchester United sides. You have to kind of do it every week. And I do think when you isolate every one of my attacking players, they're not bad players, but a lot of them are hot and cold. Some players probably should be squad players and probably play more minutes than they should. But then when you flip it, I'm asking, as I've just said there, I'm asking questions of every one of those players individually, right? But then if I say, well, Saka, and I do think he's just having a poor year, I think he's quality, but if I'm saying Saka's playing poor with, this about Gyökeres, that about Eze, this about Noni, this about Martinelli, and you add all of those players up and you put them in a corner of the room, they're all part of the attacking unit. So is it all on them individually or is it on the manager? Because goals win games. We've got a title-winning defence. Yes, I know we ain't won the league yet, but goals win games. And I do feel when push comes to shove, regardless of if we have done it in clutch moments, that we're never really going to look like scoring. I do think we need more from the players. And it's one where I can't answer, but I genuinely think there is something for Mikel Arteta in that system to reinvent. And as you kind of alluded to, it's a weird one because if our stats were diabolical, we had 10 goals this season, there's obviously problems, but we're up there for corners, we're up there for goals from open play, we're up there for chances created. We play against one of the lowest blocks week in, week out. We've got one of the highest lines. So there is a foundation for us really to be good in attack. And I have to ask, why is that not the case?
Arsenal need to dig their heels in. How are they going to do that?
By hook or by crook, football's a simple game. You just need to amass points. One thing we have done this season is grind out performances. So to a degree, keep doing what you're doing. It comes down to mentality. The last 3 years, we haven't got it over the line. Of course, there's injuries, there's different explanations, but the bottom line is you haven't. So you have to use that pain of the last 3 years to just get you over the line by hook or by crook. And I hope we can do it. And then you lot go and play in the World Cup and have a great time. But we just got to get it done. We just need to take the good and make it great, address the areas of improvement that we need to. We've got it all to do. We can cry about the fact that we've got, 3 years without a trophy, this player's injured, Arteta's tactics. The world doesn't care, apart from Arsenal fans. So just use the pain of the past and drive to a new beginning, innit? That's the only thing we can do, Miles. And pray.
7 games left.
7.
We're watching closely.
Yes, we will be.
Let's see who lifts that trophy.
Come on, you Gunners, man.